Hello, night traveler. This is Lunas, your dream storyteller from Magical Nights. Snuggle up in your blanket and let your imagination run wild as we venture into the enchanted paths of magical and fantastical tales. Tonight, our stories unfold in Dunmore, a village shrouded in mystery. Finn O'Connell is taken by the fairies to an enchanted realm where an evil spirit threatens to destroy everything. With the help of magical friends and a princess in danger, Finn faces dark creatures and a powerful sorcerer in an epic battle. But victory will come at a price. Ready to dream? In the vast lands of ancient Ireland, where green hills stretch as far as the eye can see, there was a small village called Dunmore. At the top of the largest hill, known as Fairy Hill, lived a young man named Finn O'Connell. Finn was a simple lad with a pure heart and a solitary soul, living a routine life tending to his family's sheep. Every day, Finn woke up with the sunrise, fed the animals, and walked through the verdant fields, always with a distant look as if expecting something more from life. His parents had passed away many years ago, leaving him with the responsibility of taking care of the farm. Loneliness was his constant companion, but he never stopped dreaming of something beyond the horizon. Fairy Hill had an aura of mystery and magic. The elders said it was inhabited by enchanted beings that revealed themselves only to the pure of heart. Finn, with his kindness and innocence, always believed the stories his grandmother told. He spent hours sitting at the top of the hill, watching the stars and murmuring his hopes to the night. One night, while Finn was gazing at the starry sky, an intense light appeared among the trees. Curious, he approached and found a circle of fairies dancing joyfully. They were small luminous creatures with delicate wings and laughter that echoed like music in the wind. Finn was amazed, feeling a mix of fear and fascination. One of the fairies, with silver wings and bright eyes, approached him. "You are Finn, the lonely guardian of the hill," she said with a gentle voice. "We have observed your pure heart and kind soul. You are chosen for a great destiny." Finn could hardly believe what he was hearing. "But I am just a shepherd. What can I do that is so grand?" The fairy smiled. "The fate of fairies and humans is intertwined. A great danger is approaching, and we need someone like you to help us. Come with us and discover your true purpose." And so, with his heart pounding with silent hope and a bit of fear, Finn followed the fairies. He knew his life was about to change forever, and although he did not know what the future held, he felt he would finally find his place in the world. The fairies led him through a secret passage in the hill, a bright portal that took them to a hidden realm where beauty and magic were indescribable. Finn had never seen anything like it: gigantic trees whose leaves glowed with their own light, streams that sang soft melodies, and magical creatures he had only heard about in his grandmother's stories. Upon reaching the heart of the realm, Finn was taken to a great hall where King Oberon, an imposing figure with a crown made of stars, awaited him. "Welcome, Finn of Dunmore," said Oberon with a deep, echoing voice. "You have been chosen for a mission of great importance." Finn felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. "What must I do?" he asked. Oberon smiled, his eyes reflecting the wisdom of the ages. "An ancient evil has awakened, an evil spirit named Bamba, who threatens to destroy the harmony between our worlds. You must help us stop him." Finn felt the weight of responsibility fall upon his shoulders. He was just a shepherd, but something inside him, a flame of determination, began to grow. "I will do whatever it takes," he declared, his voice firm. And so, with the guidance of the fairies and the blessing of King Oberon, Finn's journey began. He knew he would face unimaginable challenges and dangers, but he also knew he was no longer alone. Magic and hope would accompany him every step of the way. In the following weeks, Finn trained diligently under the fairies' tutelage. He learned about magical herbs, combat, and ancient strategies. However, no matter how hard he tried, he faced constant frustrations and doubts. He struggled to master the spells easily and often felt inadequate. One night, exhausted and discouraged, Finn climbed the hill to reflect. Sitting under the starry sky, he shouted into the wind, "Why me? How can I save anyone if I can't even save myself from my own uncertainty?" Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was an old woman with an air of mystery and wisdom. "Finn, my boy," she said with a raspy voice, "the journey we choose is not easy, but it defines who we are. Do not give up. Determination is the key." Inspired by the old woman's words, Finn decided he could not fail. He returned to the fairy realm with renewed determination. He trained harder, listened attentively to every piece of advice, and applied himself more diligently. Little by little, he began to feel more confident. During his training, Finn met various inhabitants of the fairy realm. There was Lyre, an immortal warrior with eyes that shone like the full moon, who taught him the art of the sword. Lyre had a tragic love story that made him strong and wise. He saw in Finn the same flame of determination that once guided him. There was also Bridget, a healer whose healing powers were legendary. With her help, Finn learned to identify herbs and prepare magical potions. Bridget was a maternal figure, always offering words of encouragement and practical wisdom. "True strength," she would say, "comes from the heart and mind in harmony." Another important figure was Aisling, a young fairy with an indomitable spirit and insatiable curiosity. She became a close friend to Finn, often guiding him on his adventures through the realm. Aisling had a special talent for uncovering secrets and finding hidden paths. With her, Finn learned the importance of cunning and observation. As Finn trained, Banba, the evil spirit, spread his dark influence across the realm. Signs of his presence were visible: withering trees, drying rivers, and a growing sense of despair among the inhabitants. Finn felt the weight of expectation on him, but also knew that each day brought him closer to being ready to face the evil. One night, while Finn was practicing spells with Bridget, a strange glow appeared on the horizon. "What is that?" he asked, feeling a chill run down his spine. Bridget frowned. "It's an omen. Something is changing, Finn. Banba is getting stronger." Finn knew time was running out. He needed to be ready, and fast. With the help of his new friends and mentors, he prepared for the final challenge, determined to protect both the fairy realm and his own world. Finally, the day came to face Banba. Armed with an enchanted sword and protected by fairy spells, Finn set out for the battle, determined to protect both the fairy realm and his own world. He knew the road would be arduous, but he was prepared for any challenge he might encounter. Finn and the fairies traveled to an ancient forest where Banba had last been seen. The darkness enveloping the forest was palpable, and the air was heavy with a malevolent energy. Finn felt a chill down his spine but did not let fear take over. As they ventured deeper into the forest, they found signs of destruction, uprooted trees, dead animals, and an oppressive silence. The fairies, usually cheerful, were serious and focused. Finn felt the responsibility growing with every step. While exploring, Finn noticed a faint glow on the ground. Kneeling, he found an ancient amulet covered in Celtic runes. "What is this?" he asked, showing the discovery to the fairies. The silver-winged fairy examined the amulet closely. "It is an ancient artifact, created to seal Banba's power. It could be the key to defeating him." Renewed hope lit up Finn's eyes. He knew that with this artifact, they might have a real chance of winning. They continued their journey, now with a new determination. The path was filled with dangers, but Finn and the fairies faced each obstacle with courage and ingenuity. As they advanced, they met magical creatures who decided to help them. Among them was a griffin named Ian, whose wisdom and strength were legendary. Ian became a valuable ally, offering strategic advice and additional protection. With his help, Finn began to feel they had a real chance against Bamba. At nightfall, they set up camp near a stream. The starlight shone through the trees, and the soft sound of running water helped calm everyone's nerves. Sitting around a campfire, they discussed a plan for the final confrontation. "Bamba is powerful," said Lyre, his features illuminated by the flames. "But he is not invincible. His arrogance is his greatest weakness." Bridget nodded. "He underestimates the strength of unity. Together, we are stronger than he ever imagined." Aisling, always curious, looked at Finn. "Are you ready?" Finn took a deep breath, feeling the enchanted sword by his side and the amulet pulsing in his pocket. "I am," he replied, his voice firm. "With you by my side, I know we can win." They took turns keeping watch during the night, ready for any surprises Bamba might send. As the first light of dawn appeared on the horizon, they were ready for the final battle. As the sun began to rise, Finn and his allies prepared for the final battle. They felt the tension in the air, each reflecting on the importance of what was to come. They knew they could not fail. As they ventured deeper into the forest, Bamba's presence became more evident. The trees were dead and twisted, the soil seemed poisoned, and the air was heavy with a sense of despair. Finn felt the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. Suddenly, they were attacked by dark creatures, Bamba's servants. They were grotesque monsters made of shadows and hatred. Lyre and Ian advanced to protect the group, their combat skills and strength impressive in action. While the battle unfolded, Finn noticed a quick movement out of the corner of his eye. One of the monsters was heading straight for Bridget, its claws ready to strike. Without hesitation, Finn ran to protect her, raising his enchanted sword and blocking the deadly blow. "Thank you, Finn," said Bridget as she cast a spell that dissolved the creature into a cloud of glittering dust. "We can't let our guard down," Finn replied, his gaze determined. "Bamba is testing us." The confrontation continued, with Finn and his allies facing waves of dark creatures. Each battle was a test of their courage and determination, and each victory a step closer to Bamba. However, the challenges began to weigh on them. Finn could see the fatigue in his friend's eyes, but he also saw the same determination that kept them united. After hours of combat, they finally reached a clearing where Bamba awaited them. The evil spirit was a dark and terrifying figure, with eyes that glowed with malice. "Do you think you can defeat me?" he taunted. Finn raised the sword and the amulet, feeling the magical energy pulsate in his hands. "I am not alone, Bamba. Together, we are stronger than you." The battle began, and the clearing was filled with light and shadows in conflict. The fairies cast spells while Finn advanced against Bamba, his sword glowing with magic. For a moment, it seemed that evil would triumph, but then, Finn felt an inner strength emerge, guiding his movements. With a decisive blow, Finn struck Bamba, and the amulet shone intensely, sucking the darkness from the evil spirit. Bamba screamed in agony before disappearing, sealed once again by the power of the amulet. Finn fell to his knees, exhausted but victorious. The fairies surrounded him, their faces glowing with gratitude and joy. "You did it, Finn," said the Silverwing Fairy. "You saved us." With Bamba defeated, the fairy realm began to recover. Nature flourished again, and joy returned to the fairies' hearts. Finn, now considered a hero, was invited to a great banquet in his honor. The celebrations were grand, with music, dancing, and laughter echoing through the hills. During the feast, Finn was called to Oberon's throne. "Finn, your courage and kindness have brought peace to our realm. In gratitude, we want to grant you a wish. Anything your heart desires." Finn thought for a moment. He knew he could ask for riches or powers, but his mind returned to the loneliness he felt on the hill. I wish for the peace between our worlds to be eternal and for the magic of the fairies to always guide and protect pure hearts." Oberon smiled, pleased with the selfless request. "So it shall be, Finn. Your wisdom and kindness will be remembered by all future generations." After the celebration, Finn returned to the village of Dunmore. He was welcomed as a hero but felt that something was still to come. The villagers, curious about his adventures, gathered around him, eager to hear his stories. Finn shared his experiences but kept certain details secret, knowing that some mysteries were better left that way. One night, while walking up the hill, Finn met a young woman named Maeve, who seemed lost and frightened. "Are you all right?" he asked, approaching cautiously. Maeve looked at him with eyes full of fear and relief. "I am fleeing from something terrible. I need help." Finn took her to his cabin, where she told her story. Maeve was a princess from a distant kingdom, pursued by a usurper who desired her throne. Finn felt an immediate connection with her, recognizing the courage and kindness in her eyes. Determined to help Maeve, Finn sought Oberon and the fairies once again. "She needs our protection," he explained. "Just as you helped me, we must help her." Oberon agreed and granted Maeve protection, promising that the fairy realm would stand by her. With the fairies' help, Finn and Maeve faced the usurper and his followers, using magic and strategy to win. With the usurper defeated, Maeve was restored to her throne. She thanked Finn and the fairies with tears of gratitude. "You saved my life and my kingdom. How can I repay you?" Finn smiled, feeling love grow in his heart. "You don't need to repay me. Your happiness is enough for me." Maeve looked at him tenderly. "You are an extraordinary man, Finn O'Connell. I would like to stay by your side if you permit." Finn felt happiness flood his heart. He had never imagined finding someone who understood and shared his feelings so deeply. "I would be honored to have you by my side, Maeve." With Maeve by his side, Finn found a new reason to live. Together, they ruled with justice and compassion, bringing prosperity and peace to both the village of Dunmore and the fairy realm. Finn, now known as the King of Fairy Hill, found the home he had always sought, not just on the hill, but in Maeve's heart. The fairies continued to visit them, bringing news and blessings. Finn and Maeve became legendary figures, remembered for their brave deeds and pure hearts. They built a life together full of love and adventures, always surrounded by fairy magic. And so, the story of Finn O'Connell, the lonely shepherd who became king, became a legend told for generations. Fairy Hill remained a place of mystery and enchantment, where those with pure hearts could find peace and purpose. Finn and Maeve lived many happy years, bringing hope and joy to everyone around them. And when night fell, they climbed the hill, sat under the stars, and told stories of courage and love, reminding everyone that with a pure heart, anyone can change their destiny. With peace restored in the fairy realm and Dunmore, Finn and Maeve continued to live their lives peacefully, though with new responsibilities. However, a new challenge was about to arise, something that would test their courage and determination even more. One morning, as Finn and Maeve walked through the fields around Fairy Hill, a messenger from the human kingdom arrived in haste. He brought urgent news of an imminent danger. "Finn O'Connell, King of Fairy Hill," began the messenger, "a new enemy threatens our lands. An army of dark creatures is marching towards Dunmore, led by a mysterious sorcerer who seems to have ties with Bamba." Finn frowned, his heart racing. Bamba was defeated. How can this be happening? Maeve squeezed Finn's hand, sharing his concern. "We need to act quickly. We cannot let Dunmore and the fairy realm fall into the hands of these evil forces." Determined to protect his home, Finn decided to seek the help of old allies. He remembered stories of a clan of druids who lived deep in the northern forests, known for their wisdom and mystical strength. "Let's go to them," Finn said to Maeve. If we can form an alliance, we will have a better chance of facing this new threat. The journey to the Druids' territory was long and full of dangers. They traveled for days, facing difficult terrains and avoiding traps left by bandits. During the journey, Finn reflected on the importance of alliances and unity in times of crisis. He knew that alone, he would hardly defeat this new enemy. Finally, upon reaching the Druids' forest, they were greeted by Kale, the clan leader. Kale was an elderly man, but his presence was imposing, with eyes that shone with ancient knowledge. "Finn O'Connell," said Kale, "we know of the approaching danger. We are willing to form an alliance, but first, we must test your courage and sincerity." Finn nodded, prepared for any challenge. "I will do whatever it takes to protect our world." Kale smiled, respecting Finn's determination. "Then, follow me. There is an ancient ritual we must perform to seal our alliance." They were led to a circle of ancient stones, where a bonfire was already lit. Kale began chanting in a forgotten language, and the air around them seemed to vibrate with magical energy. Finn and Maeve, holding hands, felt the strength of the ritual growing. Suddenly, the sky lit up with an intense light, and an ethereal figure appeared in the center of the circle. It was Deirdre, the goddess of war and wisdom. "You have sought an alliance in times of need," she said, her voice resounding like soft thunder. "You have proven your courage and kindness. The alliance between humans, fairies, and druids is sealed." With Deirdre's blessing, Finn felt a new strength and confidence grow within him. He knew that with the druids by his side, they would have a real chance of facing the dark sorcerer and his army. With the alliance formed, Finn, Maeve, and the druid warriors prepared for the final battle against the dark sorcerer and his creatures. Time was short, and they knew that the defense of Dunmore and the fairy realm depended on the success of this endeavor. On the battlefield, the armies met in a wide clearing where the ground seemed to vibrate with the energy of so many gathered forces. Finn, wielding his enchanted sword, led the front line alongside Lyre and Ian. Maeve, protected by Bridget's spells, was ready to cast healing and protective spells as needed. The enemy army was immense, composed of dark creatures, shadows, and deformed beings, all under the command of a sorcerer shrouded in a black cloak, his face hidden by a deep hood. "You dare to challenge my power?" he taunted, his voice echoing like evil thunder. Finn stepped forward, holding his sword firmly. "We do not fear you. Our strength comes from unity and courage. Today, you will be defeated." The battle began with a roar. The dark forces advanced with fury, but were met with the fierce resistance of the druid warriors and the fairies' magic. Spells and swords glowed in the air, creating a spectacle of light and shadows in constant motion. As the battle raged on, Finn focused his attention on the dark sorcerer. He knew that to win, they needed to neutralize the enemy leader. With a cry of determination, Finn advanced, his combat skills honed by Lyre's teachings and the strength of the amulet he carried. The confrontation between Finn and the sorcerer was intense. Magic and sword strikes intertwined in a dangerous dance. Every attack seemed to be met with equal or greater force. Finn felt the fatigue beginning to weigh on him, but the memory of everything at stake gave him renewed strength. In a critical moment, the sorcerer cast a powerful spell, a wave of dark energy that seemed destined to crush Finn. However, before the magic could hit him, Maeve, using her own magical powers, created a protective shield around him. "We are together, Finn," she said, her eyes shining with determination. Maeve's help gave Finn the opportunity he needed. With a swift move, he raised the amulet and the sword, channeling all the magical energy he could muster. For the fairy realm and for Dunmore, he shouted, launching a final attack against the sorcerer. The light emanated by the amulet and the sword was so intense that it blinded everyone around for a moment. When the light faded, the sorcerer was lying on the ground, his black cloak dissipating into a dark mist. The dark creatures, leaderless, began to retreat and disappear, defeated. The battle was won. Finn, exhausted, fell to his knees but was quickly surrounded by his allies. Lyre, Ian, Bridget, and Aisling were all there, their faces reflecting joy and relief at the victory. Maeve ran to him, embracing him tightly. "You did it, Finn. You saved us." Finn looked at his friends and allies, feeling a wave of gratitude and accomplishment. "I didn't do it alone. All of us, together, achieved this victory." With peace finally restored, Finn and Maeve returned to Dunmore, where they were welcomed with celebrations and joy. The villagers, who once lived in fear and uncertainty, were now full of hope and gratitude. Fairy Hill, once a place of mystery and danger, had become a symbol of protection and benign magic. Finn reflected on his journey as he walked through the village. He remembered the lonely shepherd he once was, always dreaming of something beyond the horizon. Now, he was no longer just a shepherd but a hero and king, someone who found his purpose by protecting both the human and fairy realms. That night, a great celebration was held in his honor. The village was illuminated with lanterns and bonfires, and music and laughter echoed through the hills. Finn and Maeve, seated in the place of honor, shared stories of their journey, inspiring everyone around with their acts of courage and kindness. After the feast, Finn and Maeve climbed Fairy Hill, a place that now meant so much to them. They sat under the starry sky, just as Finn used to do alone. "Do you remember when we first met here?" Maeve asked with a smile. "Yes," Finn replied, looking at the stars. "Everything has changed since then, but in a way, I feel like I found exactly what I was always looking for." Maeve held his hand. "And what is that?" Finn smiled, feeling a deep peace. "A home. A purpose. And you." As the gentle wind blew, carrying the scent of night flowers, Finn and Maeve felt at peace. They knew that regardless of the challenges the future might bring, they were ready to face them together. The fairies' magic and the strength of the alliances they formed would continue to guide and protect them. And so, the legend of Finn O'Connell, the King of Fairy Hill, endured. His story was told for generations, a tale of courage, unity, and love. Dunmore thrived, and Fairy Hill remained a place of mystery and enchantment, where those with pure hearts could always find peace and purpose. Finn and Maeve lived many happy years, bringing hope and joy to everyone around them. And when night fell, they climbed the hill, sat under the stars, and told stories of courage and love, reminding everyone that with a pure heart and determination, anyone can change their destiny. Good night and enchanted dreams.